Welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to club football. Welcome back to FC Barcelona. It has been a little while, but I'm really excited here to get back into the swing of things, looking ahead to the return now of Barça. And today we are going to be focusing on a big interview that's been done by Xavi Hernandez there, who spoke on a number of different topics ahead of the first game back. And we are also going to have as well some serious discussion on Ousmane Dembele, his contract situation and debate surrounding not only his future, but also his form this season. I've got big questions for you guys, and it's coming right up here. So come on, and let's do this. Because if we do kick off here by having a look at what the next few weeks has in store for us on the club football front, because on the 28th of December, Barca's new series is going to be released there. FC Barcelona, a new era coming on Prime Video, and that's going to be on our screens from December the 28th. Not long after that then, we have our first game back, and it's a big one at the Camp Nou against Espanyol, returning there in the big derby game that's coming just before the brand new year. Then, on the 2nd of January, the winter transfer window will open in La Liga officially there, where of course we can make signings, along with Barca's annual open training session on the same day. Before then, on the 8th of December, we got another massive game away at Atletico Madrid at the Wanda in La Liga, before just days later we will be playing in the Supercopa semi-final, as we'll be trying to win our first trophy of the season. But before we do get into the words from the coach, what I want to do is go back to Monday, because I want to show you the very special guest who arrived into training. It is none other than Andrés Iniesta, and he is one of those former Barca players that even now, whenever I see him, he just brings great emotions back. You know, seeing him there surrounded by former teammates, of course very close friends of his as well, you know, alongside Xavi, what those two did together for this club, for football, it is truly difficult to put that into words. And I think especially as well here, somebody like Iniesta showing up at training, having a word with some of the younger players, what that could do for them, you know, the boost that could give them, how much they could learn. I think every single player could learn from Andrés Iniesta. And I think for sure, guys, we are going to see him back at the club at some point. It's a matter for me of when and not if he comes back. You know, he's still out right now playing in Japan with Vissel Kobe, but I'm sure when he does call time on his playing career, he's going to have a role here, whether it's in Xavi's coaching staff, whether it's in and around the club in some degree. I can't wait for that time to come, because he should be, and he definitely is, always going to be associated with this club. He is an icon. And speaking of that combination indeed of Xavi and Iniesta, Xavi did sit down this week with several media outlets there to talk about Barca's return, to talk about a number of different topics and what we can expect really in the remainder now of this season. But one of the first questions was actually about that combination, Xavi and Iniesta, and the comparisons with Pedri and Gavi. And look at what Xavi said here about those claims, because he said, me at 20 years old and Andrés at 20 years old, we were not at the level of Gavi and Pedri. He said we were not at the level that they are currently showing. He said now we have to help them grow. We have to help them keep improving, because they have unbelievable talent. And I do think at times there, given how much Pedri and Gavi have already shown us and how much they've been playing, you know, not only for Barca but also for the Spanish national team, I think it is forgotten how young they are. Pedri just turned 20. Gavi still only 18. And I think Xavi actually touched there on maybe we're asking a bit too much too soon from some of these players, because he said Gavi and also Balde there have played practically every game so far this season. He said Balde's potential is marvellous. He can be Barca's fullback for the next 15 years. But he said these players, they're all still very, very young. Maybe we are asking too much of them. We do have to be patient. We do have to let them grow and improve at their own pace. We can't expect too much too soon. But I thought it was interesting there to hear Xavi speaking about another young talent, because on Ansu, he said he's gone through some tough times, but he's much better now, and he is going to be a key player for us going forward. He works hard, he has a good attitude, and the next 6 months will be key for him. Xavi was very keen to stress there in the interview that Ansu is going to be more important in this second stage of the season. And what I will say at this point is that's something that we've heard several times from Xavi. Even at the start of the season, we've heard about progressing Ansu slowly but surely. And I think think now it's going to be the time in this second half of the season to see evidence of that. We will need to see him getting serious chances, more opportunities in the starting lineup, but then also on that side too, you need Ansu to deliver, to take full advantage of those chances, and that is going to be the key. But when speaking about the season so far, it was kind of inevitable that Xavi was going to be asked about the Champions League and of course the failure that we suffered in that competition, but he did hold his hands up and say, we've got to be self-critical. He said we did not do well in the Champions League. He said it's true that some refereeing decisions didn't go our way, some injuries didn't help us, but we failed because we had to reach the round of 16. He said at the very, very least, that was the bare minimum, and we failed to get to that point. He said ultimately, I think we lacked a bit of maturity. He said we could have killed off Bayern in the first half in Munich. He said we could have drawn at the very worst in Milan against Inter. It was hugely disappointing to us, and you can still hear from Xavi every time he talks about the Champions League. Of course, that's the big regret this season. That is the big, costly mistakes that we've made that, of course, we're still suffering from. But it's important to learn from them. That, again, is the key. But Xavi did say, I still have high hopes of winning La Liga. That is our priority right now. He said we cannot afford to surrender our lead and let this chance slip away. And I thought it was interesting then, because he said internally, winning that title, it would give us peace of mind. He said winning that title would give our project a huge confidence boost. And I almost feel like right now, Barca need that title. Barca need that statement win there, whether it be in La Liga, whether it be elsewhere, to just show that, yeah, we are heading in the right direction. We are making the kind of progress that we're all hoping that we are. But you need solid titles there to back that up. And speaking about the emotions of the job, being the Barcelona coach, what you go through in a season, Xavi said being a coach is a roller coaster of emotions. I try to disconnect from it, but it's not easy. He said emotionally, you've got to be balanced. You've got to be very, very balanced. But he said it can get to you when things go badly. He said especially if you're a Barca fan, you've got to be mentally strong. And I think actually there from Xavi, it will affect him more. You know, if he doesn't get the right result, you think about the Champions League, getting knocked out of that early, it hurts even more, I'm sure, for him, because he is a fan. He actually cares, like all of us, and to fail, that will hurt him, no doubt. He said everybody at the club, though, seems to be excited, happy. That motivates me even more. And he said, obviously, everything depends on whether the ball goes in or not. But the fans are behind us, and we have to thank them for that. But I did find it intriguing there when Xavi was asked about the January transfer window, given that we heard plenty of rumours over these past few weeks that maybe we're not going to have much going on. There's not going to be too much activity in January in terms of strengthening the squad. But Xavi, on the face of it here, he doesn't seem to mind about that. He said if we can't sign players in January, he said that's fine. He said I've actually told Mattia Almani that I don't want to make many changes to the squad. We're creating a family here. I can see the players' hunger in training, but we're going to have to wait and see what happens with financial fair play. So I think the door there is being left open if there is room to do something. If something, exciting appears out of nowhere, I'm sure the club will look to act on that. But I think on the face of it here, guys, I wouldn't expect a great deal of business in January. Last January, of course, we saw a lot of activity. We saw a lot of players come in. The squad really rejuvenated in that window. But of course now we've had the beauty of a full summer with Xavi and with money to spend as well. And I feel like now we've done our business in the summer. And that's the way you should be doing it. You should be getting it done at the start of the season, not panicking mid-season. We had a good transfer window. We've got a good squad with everyone fit. And it's over to Xavi now, basically, to deliver with the players that he has. When it comes, though, to the topic of Ousmane Dembele, there were glowing words, absolutely glowing words from Xavi, not for the first time regarding Dembele. He said he is a differential player. He makes the difference in every game. He is special. We have worked a lot with him on his decision-making, and I love him a lot, and I trust him. He is the best winger in the world. So yet again, Xavi publicly coming out, backing his man, and showing everybody how much he believes and how highly he rates Ousmane Dembele, and perhaps that is now why Barca are already thinking about Dembele's contract situation. His current contract, of course, expires in 2024, so not this summer, but next summer now Dembele's contract will be up, and apparently now they might actually bring forward talks. Originally, it was scheduled to be discussed in the summer, but now we're actually hearing over the past few days that Barca may get this all underway with Dembele by February. And I do think that's interesting timing, given given here the end of the World Cup that we've just seen. And I just wonder whether Barca are just going to take advantage, maybe, of this situation at the end of the World Cup, whereby it's safe to say right now, Dembele's stock, it's not at its highest level. Because when the World Cup first kicked off and in the early stages there of the tournament, Dembele was looking outstanding, looking really, really promising. And we actually spoke here on the channel to say that basically, if he kept performing like that on the world stage with everyone watching, it was going to make it difficult for us. In terms of contract negotiations, it was going to make it all that more tough. But there's a flip side of that too, because given what we've seen now in the latter stages with Dembele not having the kind of impact that he would have hoped in the knockout rounds, and of course taken off early in that final game, and I did feel for him being subbed off before half-time by Deschamps. He's now been heavily criticised in the French media, and I'm sure that Barca now will look to use that to their advantage, because when you look now at what he's been doing at club level this season, there's certainly a difference, and especially under Xavi. And I'm sure that Barca will be saying to Dembele, you've shown your quality under Xavi. He has been the man to really get the best out of you in terms of other coaches. He is the one that's really, really helped you a lot. And you're doing well here. You're progressing well. You're improving. You're growing. You feel comfortable here. So why not stay here? But I am really interested to know, guys, and this is the key when it comes to Dembele and contract renewal talks. What would your approach be in those negotiations? How aggressively would you be pursuing that new contract for Dembele? In terms there of wages, would you be looking at increasing those wages? Would you be looking at maybe similar wages to what was agreed last time out? Because I think the key with Dembele and these negotiations is, we do know the quality that he has. We do know the kind of player that he can be and that he has shown certainly in lots of flashes. But I still feel here today, and I still think with Dembele, to reach the very, very top level with the very best up there with the real elite players. And I think that's the kind of level that his agent wanted him paid as such the last time around. I still think we need more consistency. We still need to see Dembele delivering on a more consistent basis and in the biggest of games. That still remains for me the next step, and I think he can get there, and I still think that his trajectory under Xavi has been very promising and looks really good for the future. But at this point here, if we start negotiations now, we will still be looking, I feel, for more. So that there, guys, is indeed the latest Barca news right now as we continue to gear up there for Barca's return. I'm really excited I am to get things back underway again, to be back amongst the club football games and to ultimately get this season back on track again, to see Barca out there and hopefully performing well. Please do let me know on all the quotes that we've heard today from Xavi. What do you make there of his words, and especially there on the topic of Dembele? What do you think about that contract renewal, and what exactly would you be doing in negotiations this time around? Let me know that down below. I will be seeing you very, very soon with more videos. Thank you for all of your support, all of your comments, all of your fantastic commitment here to the videos. I really, really do appreciate it. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.